Hear me now, rude boy. I'm a real bad man. My name is Rick Drogo. This is Crash the Party. That is my... It's not a racial voice. That's my neighbor. So, that's just how he talks. He's from America. And he's a real bad man. Just like your boy, Rick Drogo. Today is episode 12 of Crash the Party, Republicans or Democrats. And we're really moving here. We're going on 2 weeks. And it's Sunday right now. There was an attempted assassination on the Teflon Don, a.k.a. POTUS with the notice, a.k.a. the real bad man, the realest bad man, President Donald Trump, a.k.a. the Trumpinator. Come with me if you want to make money. I don't know if that was funny, so I guess not. But we're going to talk about it. I was pulling up the news to watch some news here about it with you. Bow, bow, bow. And I found this video by a guy named, hear me now, rude boy, Valhalla VFT. And he looks like a real one. Okay, I'm going to tell you that. I think he's a real one. He might be the realest, the biggest. So we're gonna watch him, and we're gonna hear what he has to say about this. I can already tell you, I don't think he believes what happened. I didn't watch the video. I watched the first little bit of it to see if I was feeling him now. So we're gonna check him out. It's 14 minutes long. And, yeah, we're just going to do our thing here. We're going to crash the party. The biggest.
A lot of big, happy smiles on literally every single person's face. And another candid moment of Pete Hegseth walking off from that press conference. Seems like he's in a pretty good mood given what just happened.
This guy will kill you. Or he has maybe killed someone you know.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and you already know what we got to talk about today. Yes, the biggest story in the world right now, and that is that totally not fake, definitely not staged attempt on Donald Trump last night at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And guys, I'm not going to make you wait till 5 minutes into the video for me to let you know what I think about this. There are two potentials here, and that is it. One, this was completely staged for a PR event because Donald Trump realized what happened to his poll ratings after Butler. Or two, this is the biggest failure in White House Secret Service history when it comes to physical security. So we're going to cover both of those options and see which one we think it is.
Yeah, that's why he needs the ballroom, bro.
Together. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon. Grab some America First, America Only merch. Let's jump into this thing. Let's talk about it. All right, first let's talk about real or fake, and then we'll get into security failures. And guys, I got to tell you,
I like this guy already because he's going to give us an outlook that Fox News or CNN or anybody else wasn't going to give us, because obviously this guy is tactical and practical.
Real or fake, and then we'll get into security failures. And guys, I got to tell you, there is so much in this when we start to look at all the pieces that just, it doesn't really seem like this was very organic. But who knows? Again, it could have just been major security failures. But let's start taking a look at some things that are a little odd. Now, let's start at the beginning. We have this full frame of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Everybody's sitting there. Trump, everybody's seated. And then this is the breaking moment where they find out there's a potential gunman in the building. Now, when we do this, I want you to direct your eyes over to this gentleman. Now, the audience gets the news, and there's just individuals who didn't seem very panicked by the whole situation. All right, the news comes in, everybody starts to get down, and oh, he's got his phone out. And who's he filming? Oh, he's filming JD walk out, and he's filming what's going on with the president. Not a care in the world over here, huh? You got SWAT teams everywhere. Now, look, I've been...
That guy's the realest. Oh, hold on. I think I was in your way. I want to watch that again anyway. Let's look.
The news comes in, everybody starts to... Who didn't seem very
So he's talking
panicked
about this guy
by the
right
whole
here.
situation.
This guy.
All right, the news comes in.
Right here.
Everybody starts to get down.
Look at
And,
him.
oh, he's got his phone out. And who's he filming? Oh, he's filming JD walk out, and he's filming what's going on with the president. Not a care in the world over
doesn't
here, huh?
care.
You got SWAT teams everywhere. Now, look, I've been in situations where I've been shot at more than once, and I gotta tell you, I've never seen anybody quite so calm and collected as that gentleman right there. And why is that important? Well, because immediately that video was then posted. And as you can see, this is the same gentleman who was just filming, and this was given to mainstream media about 2 minutes after this took place. No one protecting Donald Trump at all. Keep in mind, the threat is in the lobby, so no one actually protecting the president for a good, 10 seconds now? So that's a little odd. Now, what gets a little bit even more interesting in this is after Donald Trump had been evacuated out of the area, you can then see him just standing behind the curtain watching the entire thing unfold. So it doesn't look like they even brought him into a secure area. So, again, a little bizarre. Now, we're going to get to the security camera footage of the guy running through the lobby here in a minute. That'll be in the security failures. But also, this was just really...
I think it's important that we watch this. Let's see here. I think we need to watch this real quick.
He's the guy who became a national sensation as the world's chillest man.
Sometimes you just have to stand up to punks like that.
Tony Tovar just nonchalantly sat there, lighting up his cigarette as his favorite neighborhood bar was robbed. So this is your bar, this is your home bar, and you weren't going to let anybody push you around in there.
That's absolutely correct.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robber's orders and hit the deck. He puts the barrel of that gun into your rib cage. What's going through your mind?
He was reaching for my phone at the same time, so what was going for my mind is, no, this is not going to happen.
The bar's surveillance
Look at
video
him.
shows the 57-year-old master mechanic grabbing his phone back after the bad guy
for
tries
sure
to
had a
take it.
few.
The surveillance video is silent. Now, Tovar is revealing what words were exchanged during his scary encounter.
He actually asked me, I need the money out of your wallet. I just said, I got $2 in my wallet, and that's for my next beer. I actually told him, hey, since you're back there, get me a beer. He looked at me and says, no, get your own beer.
After taking money from other patrons, the robber...
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to show you guys that some people don't care.
really odd at the...
The two big differences between this guy in the bar and this guy in the White House dinner was that guy didn't have any beers in him to give him that liquid courage. The biggest.
press conference right after this active shooter scenario. Now, this is the entire Trump administration just minutes after this all took place, and I want to direct you to all of their faces and their emotions. Just a lot of big, happy smiles on literally every single person's face. And when we zoom in, this to me just really doesn't resonate as people who were just potentially in an active shooter event minutes prior. Now, I can tell you all the times I've been shot at or in a gunfight, I promise you, I didn't see a single person, and these are Green Berets who are actually conditioned to these types of environments and these types of events. I didn't see anybody about 6 minutes after potentially having their lives taken, completely calm, cool, collected, with big grins and smiles on their faces. But again, I don't know. And another candid moment of Pete Hegseth walking off from that press conference. Seems like he's in a pretty good mood given what just happened. And here's photographer Andy Harnick just casually snapping photos as there's potentially a gunman outside in the lobby as he's still even holding his bourbon in his hand. Wow, nobody seems very panicked by the entire situation, which is very bizarre. And just more, I mean, just amazing how there was photographers everywhere ready for this, right? And this is a great point. Here is Secret Service. I gotta ask, what is she pointing her gun at? And why is she looking away from where she's pointing her gun? It's almost like this was completely staged for a photo op. Again, maybe just incredibly, incredibly negligent and terrible at their job. I'm not sure yet. And again, just some really bizarre things to say right before this happened.
This speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
Yeah. Pure coincidence. It's all coincidence. It's all coincidence. And of course, everybody's wondering, like, what is this? What was the purpose? What was this for? Of course, we thought, maybe immediately we'd find out, of course, it was an Iranian sleeper cell, and now we got to go to a ground invasion, right? Was it going to be a transferee? What were we going to get out of this? Well, turns out Donald Trump let us know what this was all about, and we can tell by the script that dozens of MAGA influencers are going with this morning. All right, Donald Trump says this morning, what happened last night is exactly the reason that our great military, Secret Service, law enforcement, and different reasons every president for the last 150 years has been demanding that a large, safe, and secure ballroom be built on the grounds of the White House. This event would never have happened with the military top-secret ballroom currently under construction at the White House. It cannot be built fast enough. While beautiful, it has every highest level of security feature there is. Plus, there are no rooms sitting on top for unsecured people to pour in. And inside the gates of the most secure building of the world, the White House, the ridiculous ballroom lawsuit brought by a woman walking her dog who has absolutely no standing to bring such a suit must be dropped immediately. Nothing should be allowed to interfere with its construction, which is on budget and substantially ahead of schedule. Thank you for your attention to this matter. In the comment section immediately. So, it was staged to get him a ballroom. Laughing emoji. We doing false flags for anything these days. And of course, what followed immediately after Donald Trump's tweet, it's like this every single time. The same crew with the same scripted talking points, huh? Andrew Colvett says, this is why President Trump needs a ballroom. Libs of TikTok, this is why Trump needs a ballroom. Jack Prosobiak, thank God Donald Trump is building a ballroom. In wokeness, now you know why the left is suing to block Trump's ballroom. Meghan McCain, I don't want to hear one more effing criticism about Trump's new ballroom. Randy Fine, huh? We better never hear a peep about anybody about the ballroom. Old Brinley Hollyhan, when Democrats don't get their way, they're dangerous. Build the ballroom. Yes, just minutes after Donald Trump's post, they already had all of their scripted talking points for them to post their paid posts on Twitter. It's just... Again, the fact that this was probably staged to try to get support for Trump's ballroom. Yeah, yikes. All right, guys, right now I know it feels like the world is constantly on edge from the war in Iran and political turmoil in places like Cuba that we're talking about invading. New conflicts seem to be appearing every day. Luckily, there's a solution if you're looking for a good source of unbiased news, and that is going to be Ground News, which is a website and app that pulls in thousands of news stories from around the world every day, organizing them by story. Arg Island that we've been covering a lot on.
I like Ground News.
Some of the stories that are covered.
Ground News, you guys need another guy on your side. That's me. I need to just add him. Or maybe y'all need to add him. Maybe I don't know how we add him, but we're going to get at him. Ground News. That's it. Is that going to be my first sponsor? Or is it going to be Diet Coke, brought to you by Aspartame?
Mostly, or getting a in the queue month. This was actually coffee.
40%
Give Ground
off.
News a shot for yourself.
Dang.
Massive. Now let's talk.
I'm going to use this guy's code. I'm going to use it because I like him. I'm not saying what he's saying is right, but he's not wrong. No. Everything he is saying is pretty much speculation. He's definitely, it's proof. He's pointing at it. He's showing it. But just to be devil's advocate, because that's what I want to be on this show, is I want to be somebody that is like being unbiased. He is speculating as far as these people. Some people don't care, okay? Some people are like, if I'm that guy, honestly, with the phone, if let's say it was me and there was a shooter and I did that, I'd be like, look, the guy's not coming to shoot me. I'm not really worried about it. Because nobody sees the shooter in that room. They just hear about it. Everybody just hears about it. Maybe they hear the gunshots or something. But when you're not really around it, maybe that could be a difference. It's also why people aren't as shook up, because they didn't actually see it. They weren't actually that close to it. I don't know if they heard gunshots or not. That would make a difference, I would think. But and also, to the point of the devil's advocate, cameras are everywhere. Everybody's filming everything nowadays. You know, the other day I was doing a job, and the biggest Amazon drone, this thing was this big. I mean, I'm 6'3", okay? 230 pounds of raw muscle. Just nothing but muscle, for the record. But that's how big I am. This is how big the drone is. The drone is this big, and it's an Amazon drone. It's got a package. I've seen them flying over, but it came to the house right next to where we were working. I saw this thing flying. I'm such a mark. I pulled out my phone and recorded it. And I felt like a mark. But, so, with that being said, he's probably right, though.
About the second option here. This was actually real and organic, but it was just a massive, massive failure in security. I mean, it had to be. You start to look at this and just shake your head for a bunch of different reasons. And Trump and MAGA are already trying to say that the reason why this happened is because the building was just so unsecure. Well, let me ask you this. If you're the Secret Service, why are you hosting an event with the president, vice president, secretary of state, DHS secretary, literally every head of the government, all in one room in a building or a facility that is incredibly unsecure? That seems like a poor choice right out the gate, doesn't it? Also, not a great excuse. Now let's talk about real failures as we go in here, because what we do.
Also, before this guy continues, I do want to say that the ballroom thing did make sense. So when you have somebody naive like me and very ignorant to the ongoings of the political world nowadays, it made sense to me. Even though, so yeah, I didn't think it was staged when I first heard about it. I thought it crossed my mind that it could be because of what I've seen about the last assassination attempt, that maybe it was staged. And I've heard that sometimes when they're taking a hit, maybe that's the thought to do. And but to his point, I really did think, well, and I was talking with a friend of mine who was going in on Trump a little bit, and he was making some good points, and I agreed with him. But I did say, but to be fair, this is what he's saying that he needed the ballroom for, and that would make sense if you have a place in the White House where you had these meetings, which I don't know why they don't. I feel like they probably do have a room in the White House they could already do this in. But also, on top of that, somebody could still get in. I mean, how did this guy get in past all the security? It's really silly now that I think about it. So...
No, the way he got in was apparently he was a guest who got there a day or two prior, so that way he was staying at the hotel, which, again, if you were actually going to have this event, this level of an event at this hotel, you would have Secret Service monitoring this building for days, if weeks not prior. You also would make sure that hotel is not letting any random guests into the venue ahead of the event, because, again, every American leader is in that building. And so apparently he was able to just walk a backpack down with what we're hearing at the moment is a pistol and a shotgun, taking it out of his bag, and literally just run through the lobby. We can even watch it on the security camera. What we'll see is he just comes out this door and just literally runs past about a dozen Secret Service and SWAT team members.
Lieutenant Hudson, you monitoring this area?
There he is, sprinting, and just runs right by everyone. So let me explain this, right? As Green Berets, we do a lot of physical security. We do POTUS, VPOTUS protection when the president goes to foreign countries, like let's say in Vietnam. Green Berets are actually the ones that assist Secret Service with protecting the president or vice president, because we are the ones that in that foreign country, we already are working with the police force, the militaries. We already know these locations, all right? We speak the target languages. And so there's just some obvious immediate failures you notice here. Every entrance and exit to this event should have a security guard posted at it. Every single one. That's just a starter standpoint. Any event like this should have 4 to 5 layers of security before you could ever even get into that lobby, again, given the people who are inside of this event. But what we're hearing from a bunch of the press that was there is there was essentially no security at all. All right, here's one of the people from the press that says, this was the only thing that was required for entry into the Washington Hilton Ballroom. There was no security screening prior to entering the lobby. Yes, all you had to have was this little guest pass. And apparently you could get all the way to the lobby of the event without going through security. Yikes.
I need more than that to get into SneakerCon. Seriously.
Now, this is a pro-MAGA Israeli influencer, so if she's saying it,
honestly, as somebody who went, there was no security. You just showed your ticket and you were able to completely get in. There was just no pat-downs, no metal detectors, nothing going on. So really horrible setup, and I just don't even understand how that was a thing when the United States president was going to speak, who has already had assassination attempts on his life. So really crazy.
yeah, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? But luckily, we were able to get some footage of the security at the event.
Oh my goodness.
And even John Fetterman himself, and I don't think he
If you're not listening to this, you got to see that. That was hilarious.
And even John Fetterman himself, and I don't think he realized what he was actually saying here by saying this, because again, this was more of a sim thing for the ballroom, but he says, we were there front and center. That venue wasn't built to accommodate an event with the line of succession for the U.S. government. After witnessing last night, drop the TDS and build the White House ballroom for events like these. What they're trying to tell you is that there is no venues anywhere in Washington, D.C. that you could have a safe event at other than the White House ballroom. Yeah. I'm sure that's the case, right? But again, he admitted himself there was basically no security, and that venue had no business being used to host all of America's leaders in one building. So why was it? Why was the decision made by the Secret Service that that was a good location for this? Now, let's find out a little bit about our bad guy.
You're telling me that a liberal school teacher named Cole Allen took a train across America with a bag full of guns and knives, found the only unsecured location in a place where the president, the vice president, the head of the FBI, and every other big person in politics was, only to open fire to have a running gun battle with Secret Service and the Capitol Police. Nobody got killed, we apprehended the guy, and now we're here. You know why we don't trust you? It's because stuff like this happens immediately afterwards. I hate it when the liberals do it. I call it out every single time. I'm going to call it out this time too. Look at all these conservative influencers saying, build a ballroom, build a ballroom, build a ballroom. These are huge accounts with millions of followers, and suddenly they're all on the same script.
And people love to do these now. The Google search histories, yes. What did we find, of course? Under Cole Allen, yes, just 12 hours before, a massive ramp up in searches for this person's name in our greatest allies country.
Wow.
Whoa, okay. Pretty weird. And I haven't been able to verify if this one is for sure true yet or not, but it's all over the internet. Apparently, yes, our bad guy here, seen wearing a IDF sweatshirt in his Instagram photos. So, again, who knows? Now, let's get some reactions from the internet and people involved. Ian Smith says, amazing how all these people keep getting guns near the president. It's almost like it's all
That's insane. So this guy had an Israeli Defense Forces shirt on and his social media accounts. And 3 months prior, suddenly to this happening, this guy's name was being Googled over and over again in Israel.
So, again, who knows? Now, let's get some reactions from the internet and people involved. Ian Smith says, amazing how all these people keep getting guns near the president. It's almost like it's all completely fake and gay. And yes, of course, we know who can't miss an opportunity to make everything about them, Miss Erica Kurt. And as the internet says, how do you know that this whole thing was fake? Well, because there's videos of Erica Kurt crying. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. I don't want this one to be too long. There's still a lot more to talk about. And one of the next things we got to talk about, of course, is all of the brave MAGA men who hid behind tables and abandoned their wives to run for cover. So we'll cover that one in the next video. For now, it's going to do it for this one. Catch y'all.
Wow, that was a great video. I like this guy. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to like that video. I'm going to put a link in the description to watch it because that guy's pretty great. And he's a Green Beret, so I respect him. No joke. That was really good. Now, here's the thing. He could be wrong, right? If you think he's wrong, then tell me why. Tell me how he's wrong. Because he just made a real great case for all of that. He did. And this is coming from somebody who, when I saw it this morning, I was out to eat with my family last night, and I'm paying attention to politics now, so I got a little notification that said all this happened. I mean, I'm tapped in now. I'm plugged in, okay? Once Neo unplugged from the Matrix, he became a problem, okay? And that's me now. So I was unplugged last night. I was tapped in, okay? I saw the agents moving, from the Matrix, because I'm Neo. And I'm paying attention, and I'm receiving things. I'm trying to, even though I'm a very paranoid, I speculate a lot, because remember, I'm a drug addict, an alcoholic recovered. Okay, I've got over 400 days for the record. So, bow to my addiction. But with that being said, I'm very paranoid. I've screwed over a lot of people. So, I'm always thinking someone's doing that. I really am. I may not voice it on here. That's because I'm trying to be unbiased. So, what I'm saying is, I'm receiving news like that, and as I'm watching it this morning with my wife, I'm trying to receive it as they're giving it to me. And I watched it on multiple news channels, not from people like this. I watched it from real news channels, and then I go into stuff like this. So anyways, my point is, this guy made a great case for it. He really laid it all out there. If you disagree, then tell me where he's wrong in a loving and respectable way, because that's what this is all about, is covering the political landscape and everything that's going on in it in a positive, loving way with a reasonable dialogue and with love, because that's what life is all about. It's about love. If you didn't know it, that's what this show is really about, is me telling you that life's about love. Maybe that's why I'm here. It's for this moment right now to tell you you don't have enough love in your life. And I love you. So come back and see me so I can love you some more. Thank you for crashing the party with me. Oh, I just came up with a new slogan. We just crashed the party. Thank you for crashing the party with me. I love you. Thank you for your support. I'm going to crank out another episode tomorrow at 6 a.m. So when you see it, like it, share it, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you watch it all the way through so your boy gets some analyticals. Okay? Or I'm going to show up at your house like my man right here. And I'm going to be tactical and practical. All right. Thanks again.